Hello, my name is Stephanie Coles, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a custom glitter tumbler. Before you begin, you will want to gather all of your supplies. You will need 2 foam brushes, paper plates, sandpaper, a small cup, parchment paper, a stirring stick, 2 measuring cups, epoxy. It comes in an A and a B that you will mix later, glitter of your choice, a stainless steel tumbler, a foam grip for your cup. I like to use the footballs, they fit the tumblers better, Mod Podge, and gloves. Once all of your supplies are gathered, you will be ready to begin. The first step is to add a small amount of Mod Podge into your plastic cup. Step 2 will be to brush a coat of Mod Podge onto the tumbler in a nice, even, thin layer. You should do the bottom rim and the top rim last, as it tends to dry quicker. Once you have a thin layer of Mod Podge, you will be ready for step 3, which is to sprinkle a nice, even coat of glitter onto the wet Mod Podge. Make sure you have your paper plate under you to catch the excess glitter. Once you have your glitter on, step 4 will be to let your cup dry for 10 to 15 minutes. You'll want to let it dry 10 to 15 minutes between each coat of glitter. Step 5, you will use your clean foam brush to gently brush off any excess glitter that hadn't stuck to the Mod Podge. You'll want to do that before you begin step 6, which step 6 you're going to repeat steps 2 through 5 by adding thin coats of Mod Podge and glitter, and so you have a nice even coat of glitter. It usually takes between 2 and 3 coats. Step 7, you want to let your cup dry at least 30 minutes after your last coat of glitter so that it will be nice and dry for the epoxy. Once your cup is nice and dry, you are ready for epoxy. This is where you will need your gloves, so make sure you put those on. It's time to mix the epoxy. Do not mix the epoxy ahead of time, as once it's mixed, it starts to dry. You will need to mix even parts of A and B. I like to start with 25 mLs of A and 25 mLs of B. That works good for a 20 to 30 ounce tumbler. During step 9, once you have your epoxy measured, you're going to empty both parts into your plastic cup. During step 10, you want to take your wooden stir stick and begin mixing the epoxy very slowly, as this avoids air bubbles in your epoxy. If you get any large air bubbles in your epoxy, you want to take your stick and just pop them against the rim of the glass. It takes about 5 minutes to fully mix the epoxy. In step 11, if you haven't already done so, you'll want to place your foam piece inside your tumbler and place it on your cup turner. Make sure you have your parchment paper under your cup as the epoxy tends to drip. In step 12, you'll want to turn your cup turner on so that the cup can rotate. In step 13, you will want to pour a small amount of epoxy on the cup and begin spreading it from the bottom to the top in a nice, even, thin coating. Once you have a nice, even, thin coating around the cup, you will want to epoxy the bottom of the tumbler. Once you have the tumbler completely epoxied, you will need to let it turn for about 4 hours. After that 4 hours, it will be sticky to touch and you will need to let it dry overnight. Once the cup is dry, you will want to take your sandpaper and sand it smooth. Once it is sanded smooth, you can wash and dry it and repeat the steps to epoxy the cup. The cup needs approximately 2 to 3 coats of epoxy. After all the coats of epoxy are on the cup, you need to let it dry 48 hours before first use. Your end result should look something like this. That is how to make a custom glitter tumbler. Thank you.